So that is why Marat Husnadinov is the next Drake May. This is the Garden Level Pod.
This is hockey right here.
Bruins! Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Welcome in, Garden Level Podcast, Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stuart, Dan Conlon, both here checking in on the red hot Boston Bruins, episode 17. Guys, of course, you can find us here on YouTube every week, wherever you get your podcasts, Twitter, TikTok, a lot of things going down there. Some more this week with our guest on the show today. We're going to talk to Logan, don't call him Gavin, McKenna, later on in the show. By the way, that will happen at one point. I will call him Gavin, and I hope he
might be a relation there.
Hope he just finds it flattering, more than anything. Anyway, let's talk about the Boston Bruins, shall we? Because it is a great time to be a sports fan in the city of Boston. And Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there is any more exciting, accomplished, hotter team in this city right now than the Boston Bruins.
It's either the Bruins or the Celtics, probably, right? I mean, the Celtics
it has to be.
Celtics had a nice comeback win against the Nets, but is the football thing still going on? That
surely not. It's the end of January. Surely not. There's no
way. But
it's a good time.
Yeah.
Though.
It's good to be back. We got some towels going around in TD Garden Saturdays now. The Bruins and Canadians I feel like that rivalry we could say it's back. Both teams are good, and there's a little bit of grit to it. They're playing meaningful games. They're not playing that many games, but the games they're playing are meaningful. And yeah, the Patriots are back, baby. Boston, I was going to say, do you think there was a more meaningful weekend of Boston sports than this past weekend in recent memory? Besides the Celtics winning the championship 2 years ago, I'd say this has got to be close to that.
I don't know exactly when I would go, how far back I would go, but we used to have those a lot. Not that it was that long ago, but we used to have those a lot where it would be like, big Red Sox Yankees weekend, the regular season in the spring, and you'd have Celtics and Bruins playoff games going on, and you'd set up every once in a while with these like insane Boston sports days where you'd have like all three of them happening, or the Patriots, when they played the Falcons in the Super Bowl, it was the same day. It was Paul Pierce's last game at the Garden playing for the Clippers, like things like that. I think Pasta got a hat trick one year during or before an AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl or something like that. So it's been a minute, not that long, but it does feel good to have all of these teams clicking again. And specifically the Bruins at 8-2 in their last 10. I mean, just hotter than fish grease going right now. And you mentioned it, that Montreal game. It's funny, Dan, we came on here a few months ago and we said, man, that win up in Montreal, that might be your win of the season so far. And here we are at the end of January. I'm looking back on that Saturday night against Montreal and thinking this may be your win of the season so far.
Did say that 2 months ago, but games in January are more important than games in November, and games in March up to this date that this was the most important win of the season. It's a 4-point swing right there. You have two teams that are not separated that much in the standings. This is the third straight episode we've been in the wild card spot, so we have been seeing more consistency with this team. I think what impressed me the most this past week was, I think we said, what would be a good week for them going against Vegas, the Stars, and the Canadians. And I honestly said, like, if they get one, that'd be fine with me, and then they could play the Rangers tonight and bounce back. But I like how they played terrible against the Stars, and they bounced right back against this tough Vegas team, and then they won against the Canadians too. This team has been so streaky this year where if you lose like that to Dallas, you could kind of spiral. But I think it's going to show that maybe we could lose a game and not lose 5 more after that. We could kind of just lose one, learn from that short-term
Love that.
memory, and come back. I think, yeah, let's eliminate the 6-game losing streaks. How
I
about that?
love that. I'm a big fan of not doing 6-game losing streaks. But yeah, and we talked about that kind of tough schedule last week. The Rangers thing's a bit of a let off. But I was saying just don't get blown out. Like, can we just keep these low scoring? And then you get your ass kicked in Dallas. It's like, okay, all right. And what's the rest of this week going to be? And they bounce back with a couple of really impressive 4-3 victories. One of them, and both in different ways, right? You kind of hold on against Vegas, 4-0 going into the third, and you find a way to squeak that thing out against a good Vegas team, and then coming back from 3 different deficits against Montreal. It looked great, by the way. I know you can't do this too often. I freaking love the white at home. I think this looks fantastic for a home
Mhm.
game. I think it looks perfect. They did it against the Rangers a few weeks ago too, but you basically have to catch a team on like a 1-game road trip to do it. So they don't have to pack extra equipment. But that just looks good, Dan. That looks really good.
I agree. I think Boston is very traditional with sports, so it's nice to see them kind of copy some other cities that it could add a little different element to a game. And obviously you have a younger generation now who sees whiteout games going on at their high school games, and
Hmm.
when I went to different sports cities, sometimes they do that too. Like I know they did that in Buffalo, the game I went to. So I think it just adds a different element, adds a little different buzz. It definitely gets the fans more into it, and yeah, I agree. I love the whiteout on Saturdays. I think it's kind of like what those Red Sox did with their connects last year. I think it just adds a little more buzz.
It does. It brings something. It seems silly, but it does. It brings something. And this looked like the old days. Like this looked like old Boston Garden, late '80s, early '90s, when these teams would play in the playoffs every single season. Like that's what it looked like. So I'm all here for it. It's also a great game too, right? These are two teams, like you mentioned, neck and neck in that wild card. And as we record this, it is Montreal in the first wild card, 1 game ahead of the Bruins in the second wild card spot. 1 point ahead, I think. Did I say 1 game? 1 point ahead with the same amount of games. Finally, the Bruins have played the same amount of games as everyone else. But Cole Caulfield gets the hat trick. Each one of them gives Montreal a lead, and yet the Bruins win it 4-3. Fraser Minten, a big goal. Morgan Geekie with the weirdest game-winning goal of all time. Like, how
That no one
much
knew
of this
about.
game no one knew? Morgan was like, I think a little unsure by the time he was like, but wait a minute. Nobody, like, there's no save here. The puck's not in the netting. Like, what has happened? He was that much of a rocket. How much of that is like a microcosm of the Bruins season? Like you just mentioned it. Like nothing is, well, not nothing, but recently it has not snowballed into 5-6 game losing streaks. Here's a moment where, they went back and forth the last time these two teams played at the Garden, and third period they fell apart. This time they came back and won it. It's almost like they kind of took it a little personal, Dan.
Yeah, I think whatever Sturm said probably resonated with them. I feel like he has a good way of connecting with the players. So I think they are turning the corner a bit. They're learning from their lessons. It's January now. Obviously, you kind of want to learn from that earlier than that, but I think they're listening to what Sturm is saying, and I think they're coming together right now as a team. Uh, Everyone's contributing. Fraser Mint him. Is he the clutchest player in the NHL? There's a
I
tweet out
mean,
there. There's a tweet out there that shows that over half his goals this year are coming in the third period. He's got some game-winning and overtime goals. He's scoring with less than 10 minutes left. It seems like when you need a goal in the third period, he's one of the guys you rely on. So, yeah, if you look at that, 2 OT
that's
goals,
crazy,
seven
man. More
seven
than
goals
half
in
of
the
his goals
third
are in the third period.
or overtime. So,
Well, in overtime, it's well more than half. Yeah. 9 out of the
so
13. That's nuts.
some things you love to see. Obviously, those goals are important. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Nathan Horton. I feel like Nathan Horton came up clutch a lot during his short tenure with the Bruins. Not going to say Fraser Minton's going to lead us to a historic playoff run, but it's something you like to see from a 21-year-old kid.
He could lead us to a historic playoff run at some point. He's got a lot of time here, man.
Yeah.
He just keeps getting better, Dan. Like we were talking about it a couple weeks ago of like hey, not a lot of people are noticing this kid. And some people think that the Bruins are overhyping this kid because you look at the point totals and we're talking about, well, you got to take into account the line he's playing on. And you got to watch the games. You got to look at the PK. And like that all is still true, but he's going to hit some good numbers. He's going to get 20 goals this year. He and Murat Husnudinov are both going to get to 20 goals this year. And Geeky might get to 35, 40. Like that's still maybe 40. Like that's kind of crazy. Fraser Minten, it just seems like Dan is just getting better and better right in front of our eyes, like by the week here.
Yeah, and no matter what happens this season, I feel like you gotta look at the big development of a lot of players on this team. If Geeky can do 35 plus again, which I think a lot of fans didn't think he would could do that again as well, be a 30 goal scorer. He certainly can. But if he can get up to 40 possibly, that's a huge development in his game. I think it kind of puts some things to rest. People questioning his goal scoring ability, but you talk about Marat, you talk about Fraser. If they could reach 20 goals, that's something. And Marat's not old. I feel like sometimes perceive him as like a 25-year-old first year journeyman. Like he's 23 years old. He was a second round pick. He kind of reminds me of a young Carl Hagelin, speedy winger. Um, can show up in the playoffs. A contender can use a guy like Carl Hagelin and a guy like Murat if he keeps it up. So I'm not sure if you see that similarity in him, but if he can turn into like a Carl Hagelin type player, I feel like that could be something that Bruins could use.
I definitely see what you mean. In Hagelin, who, ends up having a decent career. Like he's never obviously a stud or anything, but you remember the name mainly because he did come through in the playoffs and he was a big part of some Stanley Cup teams, man. Like he was a big part of those runs and those championships, a couple with Pittsburgh. Like he was phenomenal in those. So if Murat Husnudinov is that, sign me up, dude. I'm in for that. I'm very much in for that. Put 92 in the rafters if that's the case. If he's part of more than one Stanley Cup team, which is saying a lot, because Bruin hasn't done that in a long, long time. I mean, we're going back to the Bobby Orr days to find a guy who's won 2 Stanley Cups with the Bruins. But anyway, before we get to our guest, because we do have a big guest, Logan McKenna, coming on in just a minute here, I do want to kind of set the stage because it's episode 17 and we got to do this. Okay, we go through, the number of the episode, the number of the Bruins. And when I think of 17, Dan, there's one name that comes to mind, like the guy, you think of our childhood, some great times with the Boston Bruins, and you think of
Yes.
number 17 and the
Yes, sir.
impact that it still has. That number 17 is
It's either Ryan Donato or if it's someone different. Was he meaningful on the ice or was he meaningful on like social media?
I think his influence was not limited to the ice. Let's just say that. And that you could still see the influence on social media. Yeah.
So based off what you're saying, I would say it would be no one other than Mr. Tankrat.
Peter Tankrat. Of course, man. Of course. Shout out to Peter Tankrat on Twitter. The completely real Peter Tankrat on Twitter. Yeah, that's where you have to go. Milan Lucic, you ever heard of him? Wasn't a part of my childhood at all. That's okay. Probably the biggest number 17 for people of our ilk. Stan Jonathan could throw him with the best. He is up there. A couple Massachusetts guys, including Sean McEachern, Ryan Donato from Situate, South Shore guy, Peter Tankrat, Derek Sanderson. People remember him for number 16. He also wore number 17. So, that's kind of it. That's kind of it for the great. Although I think I can point out, I think there's 3 30-goal scorers who had an NHL contract this year that wore number 17 for the Bruins. I think that's right. Let me just double check very quickly here because we got a show to do. It is correct. Lucic, Donato, and Nick Foligno all have scored 30 goals in the NHL, and we're technically kind of active NHL players this year because Lucic was a minor league deal, right? Did he play for the Blues or did he just play in Springfield?
He just played in Springfield, and I think he went to Europe or Russia.
Yeah, something like that.
But he
Was it
was out. He was
Scotland? Was
out.
that last
He was
year?
out in Western Mass. If any Bruin, honestly, there were probably some Bruins fans that are still in love with him
Okay.
from his glory days that made a trip out to Springfield to watch that. But
For
yeah,
sure. For sure.
we've
Speaking of
had a good
guys in
history
their
of 17s.
some good 17s, man. Happy Gilmore's on the next one, 18.
Oh yeah,
But no spoilers. Talk about a guy who's still in his glory days, and that is our next guest. You know him from YouTube. You know him from TikTok. You know him as a boisterous young lad. Logan McKenna
Boys,
joins the Garden Level Pot. Look at this. He's come prepared. He is
come on
coming
now.
prepared.
What a huge weekend for the fellas. All around
Huge.
Boston sports. Just a huge weekend. Unreal.
Huge. And no
Thanks for
better
having me on.
team. No better team.
Really?
Of course, man. No better team in Boston right now than the Bruins, right?
No, there's none. Was at that Canadians game. One of the most electric games I've been to in a while. The crowd feels back. We had the rally towels going. It was a fun one.
Yeah, dude.
so
Saturday
we were
night in
saying,
the
does that
barn
bring
against
a different
Montreal.
element?
Ooh.
It did. It did. It felt like a playoff game, to be honest, with the rally towels going
Awesome.
for every goal. I mean, the crowd was just so into that game. It was a tough first period. I think we had like 2 shots after the first. And we were just thinking, oh, this could be another game like it was down in Dallas. And then they came back, started firing. We got geeky going, and we really, really turned on the Jets in the second and third there.
Dude, I want to highlight how crazy the NHL is this year by just giving this stat right here from Andrew Raycroft going into the week. The only 3 teams that have more regulation wins than the Bruins, which is what you're aiming for, is regulation wins. Colorado, Dallas, and Tampa. That is crazy because the Bruins are in the second wild card. They're clinging on to the last spot. 8 wins in their last 10. They're one of the hottest teams in hockey, and there they are, just kind of barely hanging on to this last playoff spot. So, Logan, I do want to get your take on this. Is this team nailed on a playoff team if they're playing this well and they're still only in the second wild card spot?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's ever a tank season, especially Hagen's season's about to finish at BC soon, and then we can call him up late March, early April. So I think we got a team right now that's winning games. We have lines that are working. Injuries have been killing us all year. We just saw Zadorov get hurt, which stinks. That's just a core guy that can give you 20 to 25 minutes a game that you won't notice for bad or good things out there. But yeah, I think we're a playoff push team, and we got the prospects coming up. And yeah, I'm excited to see if they can make a run for it. We got a couple easy games, hopefully. Predators, I think we can take the Rangers tonight. So I think this team can make a run for it, definitely.
Do you think we'll score 10 goals again tonight, or do you think a little bit less, a little bit more?
Who knows? Snow's falling. It's weird.
Is 10 the bar against the Rangers now? Do we have to score double digits?
10's the bar. I think 10's the bar. Yeah.
Look, they set a high standard, man. They set a high standard. 10 or bust. That's all. That's all. Will Marat Husnudinov 5-goal game potentially? We'll see. We'll see. I did want to ask, I kind of just laid it out there, but this is as hot as they've been all season. And they're doing it against some good teams. Like, again, you do it the other night. I know Montembeault is not having a great year, but you do it against a team starting goalie, a good playoff team, and you're not catching them on the second night of a back-to-back like you were doing a couple weeks ago. Vegas goes across the country, but you beat them. You kind of laid it to them early. So what has been the most surprising part of this really hot stretch for you for this Bruins team?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the Corrali line with Kaslik, I was like, what are we doing there? But just a line that works, and I think Marco Sturm's doing a good job putting these lines together, and we're finding a way to just put pucks in the back of the net, and it's working. Whatever we got is working. Looking at this paper looking at this roster on paper, I was like, I don't know if this is a team, but they're winning games. They're winning games, and they look good doing it. But as long as they keep winning, and they're beating good teams. Montreal's at the top of our division, so they're winning big games, and they look good. So I think this is playoff or bust for the Bruins.
Hell yeah!
All right. So we saw a few trades last week. The Bruins were rumored in one of them. Do you think the Bruins should do a little bit of buying at this deadline, or do you think they should do a bit of selling? Should they do a little bit of both? What would your ideal trade deadline be for the Boston Bruins with how well they're playing right now?
Yeah, saw you guys talking about the Anderson stuff last episode, and I agree. I mean, I think it would have been a lot to give away a pick, especially. Wouldn't have been like really upset if we did it, but also like kind of like I like low rye. I'm a low rye guy. Lacks a little bit of defense, but so skilled on offense that it would have hurt me to get rid of him. The first rounder would have stunk, but I think we're gonna buy. I mean, we were offering a lot, and we won the extension with Rasmus Anderson. I wouldn't be surprised if we try to go for some guys. I know New York's definitely getting rid of Panarin. They said the Ducks came out today that they're looking at him. So another team that we could be looking at, Panarin or Vincent Trocheck, I know is another guy that they're talking about leaving.
How would you feel about Trocheck? Let's real quick, because I hear that and I wince. And you're right, like that is so something that there's been some rumors out there. It's totally something Don Sweeney would do. Although I think he's having a good year. What would it feel like if this team added Vinny Trocheck for the stretch drive?
Exactly what you said. It's a Marco Sturm type of like guy that he would just add to this team. It's nothing that I would be like, let's go, depending on what we do to get him. But yeah, I'd rather have a skilled guy. Also, like even other teams, like I know Vancouver is basically selling at this point. Who knows? DeBrusque could be coming back. I mean, I would love to see a lot of things go down, but I think we are a team that's going to be making a lot of moves. I mean, last year we made the biggest move of the deadline, so I expect us to be up there again, definitely.
Acquiring Fraser Minten doesn't get bigger than that. You're right.
Really
you nailed it. Yep.
If the Bruins do sell off any players, I know they have a few guys that are UFAs at the end of the year. Is there one or two Bruins that come to mind where you would mind if they traded them for some draft picks? Or who do you think is most likely to be traded that's currently on the roster for the Bruins if they do make a move?
I don't know. I know like Peaks. I think Peaks maybe on his last year. But I don't know. I really like our team right now. I mean, we're playing well. I think it also depends on how we play the last couple weeks before the deadline. If we're still winning a bunch of games, I'm not sure if they want to make too many changes. But right now, if we're staying hot like we are right now, I wouldn't make too many changes. But to get rid of some guys, I mean, we have so much grit, especially on that fourth line with Kaslik, Corrali, Janelle. Would love to see maybe us get rid of one of them if we do make a move. I am a Janelle guy, though. I did love that signing.
You loved it from the beginning.
Loved it from the beginning. I think $3 million is worth a Tanner Janelle signing. I went to the game when he played in LA, when he went back to play against his old team, and he was hitting guys. I think he might have had 15 hits in the game. Like he was just hitting everyone, trying to create opportunities. I'm a huge Tanner Janelle guy. Great fourth line guy, but I do think we have a little bit too much grit on that fourth line. Maybe put a skilled guy back there to help it out. So I don't know, maybe trading someone like that or a defender like Peak. And I know Lorai, Patra's definitely in the conversation. Lysell, I don't know. We saw him last year. Wasn't like a huge fan, especially with Hagens and I think Zellers, Dean Latorno, unbelievable. So would rather see some of those guys get called up for this team than see some of the other guys we saw before.
Dude, we talk about, some people might think we talk about the prospects too much. You know, we were doing it earlier in the year when the team wasn't going so well, but like it does bear reiteration of like, we haven't seen this. Like we haven't seen them having 3 legit prospects at the collegiate level and still good draft picks coming to them. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have 2 first-round picks this year in all likelihood, depending on what they do at the deadline. And yet you've got 3 guys up for the Hobey Baker right now. The last time they had a skater up for the Hobey Baker was Ryan Donato, like almost 10 years ago. And now they get 3 guys with especially the 2 BC guys, right? Letourneau and Hagens are so hot. So like, this is as exciting as it's been to look at the Bruins' future in a long time. You know, to be fair, most of our lives, it was exciting in the present. But looking at this now, man, like how can you not be excited about this?
You're right. I mean, these guys are Dean Letourneau. We saw last year, didn't have a great first year. People were kind of upset, especially with how we've drafted the past 10, 15 years. People were upset with that season, but he's turned it around this year. He's huge. I think he's like 6'6" or 6'7". So like we're getting a big guy. But yeah, I'm really excited to see, especially Hagens in the World Juniors. He was just one of those guys. He wasn't unbelievable, but the coach trusted him. Like we weren't playing well. He was like, let's put out Hagens' line. In that Finland game, in their last game, they were playing so many minutes. It was third period. They were playing every other shift. So it's good to see that coaches are like, let's get this kid out there. We know he's our playmaker. He's the guy that we want in the ice. But I'm excited. I think he's another guy that might need a year to develop in the NHL, kind of like a Connor Bedard, get into the league, like find out how the pace is, and then second year, have a great year.
Yeah. I think Hagens gets a lot of hate because I think everyone expects him. He's doing a point per game at college hockey, but I think everyone kind of wants him to be doing more than that. They want him to be putting up monster numbers. So I do think there's a little bit of hate that he gets that's a little bit unwarranted. But he's having a great year at BC. I was thinking, if they are making a playoff push at the end of the year, like how cool would that be if he kind of had the Charlie McAvoy kind of path to the NHL where he did 2 years in college. He did 4 games in Providence just to get his foot feeding down. And then he joined the Bruins. We lost the Ottawa Senators in 6 games, but I would love to see Hagens up this year. I'm not sure if it's possible, if they will need him, and it depends how the season plays out. If you trade Arvidsson, for example, maybe that puts a hole in the lineup where you could call Hagens up later in the year. But speaking of Hagens, though, this is the first time this week I've seen his name in trade rumors, and we were speaking about the trade deadline earlier. There was a hypothetical on Twitter. I'm not sure if you're on Twitter, but a popular Bruins Twitter account put out the tweet: "Would you trade James Hagens for Robert Thomas?" And it was overwhelming no by 80% of the fans. Are you a part of the no, or would you be possibly interested in that trade?
I don't think so. Right now, I'm pulling up Robert Thomas's stats just to make sure I can confidently say no.
He's been a point of game guy. And he's entering into his prime too. If you're thinking about kind of, and I don't want to say going all in, although that would be like kind of going all in over the next 2-3 years. This could be a move, but maybe I'm too attached to the prospects things. But I don't like the idea of giving up Hagens, man.
I don't either. Yeah, you're right. He's a point per game player. I mean, this year he has 42 games, 33 points, 11 goals, 22 assists. Minus
terrible
3 on a
team. Yeah.
On an awful team. -3 is not bad at all. And over his career, he's plus 43. So it's not like an awful trade rumor at all. But I like Hagens. I mean, that's our 7th overall pick. I don't know if we could trade that.
I think it's a balance too. Like I love Hagens. Bruins haven't had a blue chip prospect. We really don't draft in the top 10 unless we do a Phil Kessel trade with Toronto. So I think there is a little extra feelings towards him just because the Bruins haven't had a top 10 pick in a while, and it was a great pick. He fell into your laps. I know we were excited when that happened. Couldn't believe Philadelphia took Martone over him, but I do think there's a little bit extra feelings towards him just because we don't ever really get top 10 picks anyway. But there's an argument to be made. If you have Pasta McAvoy in your prime, adding Robert Thomas right now to it definitely helps with their windows. But you never know with Hagens. He could come in and be an impact player, whether it's next year or 2 years from now. But I do see both sides of the argument. I'm leaning no, but I can make an argument why fans would like that. There are fans that just want us to go all in this year.
Yeah, and like I do understand kind of to that point, Dan. Like I do get the fans who are like, you've got Pasta and McAvoy in your prime right now. Like, you can bring in a guy who's had a couple 80-point seasons, going to be 27, like entering into the prime. And I think some fans would see it as it's only going to cost you James Hagens only. But to your other point, like we just haven't had anticipation for a prospect like this. And maybe that's going to cloud judgment, but like you just haven't had that kind of anticipation. And that's what I think is really cool for Bruins fans right now. And he's living up to expectations if you're doing real expectations. If you're expecting him to have 2.5 points a game in college hockey as an 18-year-old, it's not going to happen. I think he just turned 19. Like that's not going to happen. But the kid can still produce. The kid can still produce, much like our guest here on the Garden Level Pod, Logan McKenna. Logan, before we go any further, I do want to ask about how you've gotten into the game, so to speak, because you're a huge, you got the YouTube channel, you're a huge hit on TikTok, over what, 34,000 followers? Is that right on TikTok? Just like, how did you get into this, and what is it that's working for you, man?
Yeah, so I played hockey my whole life throughout high school. I'm now 21 years old. I moved to California, which I'm in Boston right now, but I live in California. And I just one day it was right before the Bruins were playing the Leafs, and 2 years ago in the playoffs when David Pastrnak ruined the lives of all Leafs fans. Right before game one, I thought about it and I was like, I want to make content around this. Like, I'm a huge Bruins fan. I watch every game. Like, how could I do something? And so I always saw videos of like fans reacting to games, especially like when they lose, and you just see like dreaded fans. Like, remember Seahawks versus Patriots Super Bowl last time we got the pick, and you just see Seahawks fans like, why didn't you run the ball? And so like I was thinking like this could be viral. And so I made my first video, live reaction to the game, did like 5,000 views, and then the video after did like 120,000 on TikTok. And I was like, I think I have something here. And I kind of fully was like Bruins until they lost the next series against Florida. And then I realized I could really just do it for every game and every team. But just really became a huge NHL fan over the past couple of years. And started like making all the reaction videos. And then I started making like when trades would happen, trade videos, World Juniors, a bunch of stuff in World Juniors, huge fans around. I'd say like 60% of my audience is in Canada or Sweden. So big audience around the world. So it's nice. But yeah, that's how we started. And then, just kind of kept it going and just grew the audience from there.
Yeah, you mentioned the Seattle Seahawks Patriots reactions from that 2014 Super Bowl pick. A year before that, there was also another good one in 2013 with the Toronto Maple Leafs collapse in Game 7. I remember, I mean, Bruins fans have probably watched those videos over and over again of all the Toronto fans. I think there's one that comes to mind for me. Obviously, you have them outside. What's the name of that place they stand outside the stadium? Some type of square.
Maple Leaf Square.
Maple Leaf Square.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Those are always good. But there's videos of people at home. They're all together, eight people, and to see the reactions on that, I know. I feel like that was around the time where I started getting into fan reactions. So definitely a cool thing to do, and people love to watch that content. But you do cover a lot of sports, not just the Bruins. One of my questions for you was, you get a lot of views. With views can also come a little bit of hate. Which fan base is the easiest to piss off, or which one can you gaslight the easiest?
Oh yeah, it's Toronto. It's Toronto. It started with Toronto. I mean, I think the Bruins might have lost Game 2 that year, and so like that was the video that did go viral, and all the comments were like, "We're coming. This is our series." And then the videos were doing well. Game 7, I was like, "Oh, this video's gonna be viral." David Pastrnak, OT winner, Game 7. I posted it, no views at all. All the Toronto fans probably saw it, scrolled right away. They're like, "Oh, not watching this guy right now. We can't do it." But yeah, the Toronto fans. If you watch my videos, there's a lot of me talking to Toronto fans, and they're the easiest. And honestly, the Canadiens fans are nice. You would think Bruins Canadiens biggest rivalry. Their fans actually aren't that bad. It's the Toronto fans, I think, are the worst for sure.
There's a certain like reverence with Montreal. Yeah, there's a little bit of respect, and I think that probably goes a little bit both ways. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pump the Canadiens tires too much, but it's like Toronto. There's not a lot of respect here, and there's a ton of bitterness on the other side. Like, I kind of see how you're getting to that for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They can't be. There's really no rivalry there because they don't win against us. So it's like they're just mad at us. We kind of just laugh. So
yeah,
it's fun though. It's fun.
Are they the funnest to kind of poke as well? Like I'm getting that they're doing it the most, but are they kind of the most fun to poke fun at?
Yeah, because you can say anything, and their funniest responses to me will be like, "Have fun with Austin Matthews in the Olympics. He doesn't play well in big games." And I'm like,
they got a point. They got a point.
Yeah, so it's funny, but it's actually super fun. I love the Toronto fans, even though we got some beef over there.
When I went to Montreal, I've been going to Montreal for the Bruins games on a road trip the past 2 years. It's an awesome trip. Definitely recommend it if you haven't already. The Bell Center. Have you been to the Bell Center at all in Montreal?
I legit was talking to a friend about it yesterday, and I was like, I have to go there for a playoff game. I've heard it's the most electric arena ever.
It's the biggest arena in the NHL. They got 4 levels, so just imagine TD Garden with another level on top. All the fans know hockey. You feel like you're in Europe. It's like a European atmosphere. Obviously, when English is the second language there, that does influence a little bit. But they all know their hockey. It's not like you're going to a different. It's not like you're going to Philadelphia. Everyone's just like hit him, shoot it, hit him. But
Yeah. a little bit
when I
of-
went to the game, there was in front of me there was a Bruins fan and a Canadiens fan in front of him, and they were chirping each other the whole game, getting at it. It was the game 2 years ago where Jake DeBrusk won in overtime in the regular season. Shout out Jake DeBrusk. But
noted Jake DeBrusk fans on the spot. Very noted Jake DeBrusk fans.
yeah, future Bruin. But after the game, they were going at it for each other for 2 hours. Jake DeBrusk scores in an overtime. The Canadiens fan gets up, turns around, shakes the guy's hand, and just goes home. And I'm like, when you said that, I'm like, I totally see Canadiens fans just being, they're into it, but at the end of the day, they're a little bit respectful as well. They know hockey and they have a respect for another Original Six franchise. And it's been a back and forth. And with Toronto and Boston, it's just been a back, no forth. So I see what you're saying with Montreal and Toronto fans. But Toronto is, it's also interesting this year. Do you think Toronto, we have their first round pick. They're out of the playoffs right now. They lost 4. William Nylander is flipping people off in the box right now.
Yeah,
they're not doing too great. Do you think there's a shot? What are the chances do you think they miss the playoffs this year?
I think there is a 50%. I think they're 50-50. Austin Matthews is a regular season hero. He's going to keep going crazy. There it is right there. The funniest thing I've seen all day. He had to apologize for that, I think. Yep.
Yeah, he definitely did.
But yeah, I think they're 50-50 right now. I just, their defense is so bad. Morgan Riley's not like you. I feel like every team you need one guy that's a really good defender, or you need at least a core. The Panthers had that core last year. But the Leafs, they just don't have a core. They have Carlo as like their second best guy, but they have some other guys stepping up. That guy Scott Lawton's playing pretty well, but I don't know. Like even looking at the Bruins team compared to them, I think this Bruins team's a lot better, and I think we're going to put up a better fight. What I am more interested in is the Buffalo Sabres, and that team,
they're hot.
Is
wagon.
Wagon.
Best team in Buffalo this year. Best team in Buffalo this year.
For sure.
It is. It's crazy. Tage Thompson has just turned that team around.
Do you like? I like this is famous last words because I know we probably said this about the Bills a couple of years ago too, but like it's exciting that Buffalo is good. Like it's like God, good for them, man. That's great. But like if we got to play them first round of the playoffs, like that's gonna go away. That is gonna be an interesting fan base for you, Logan, because those people can get after it. They can. Like this is said about a lot of places where I think it's actually true about Buffalo. Like that is a good hockey town. And it sucks that their team has been so ass for so long and that Milan Lucic broke them 15 years ago. But that could be your next like trigger fan base.
I'm sure can. I've made some Buffalo Bills videos. Pats versus Bills. Any Bills, their first playoff game I posted did very well. They got a huge football audience, and they definitely have a big hockey audience. I'd be very interested to see. I don't know when the last time we've seen them in the playoffs was. I think I was like 8 years old. I think it's been like 14 years.
Yeah, 2010. 2010 was the last time they were in.
So I'd love. If it's not us that's going to make it, and like if we're fighting for a spot, obviously I want the Bruins. But like if it's not us, I'd love to see Buffalo make the playoffs, especially over that Leafs team. Because it looks like Detroit's might secure a spot. They're at the top of the division. Montreal looks on fire, even though we took them down. That team is stacked. But I don't know. I'm interested. I'd love to see Buffalo make it.
Yeah, like, dude, outside of Tampa, like I don't know how many teams. Let me preface it this way. All right, let me preface it this way. I think the Bruins are a playoff team. Logan confirmed it earlier. They're a playoff team. It's going to take a lot for them to win a series, I think. just because of and who knows, they might add, but just because of if one line goes cold, then you're in a lot of trouble. But I look at this Atlantic, and outside of Tampa, it's a wagon. You've got some good teams, Detroit, Montreal, don't get me wrong, but it feels like these teams could be had in a 7-game series. Like if Swayman gets hot, I think you can knock out, the way they're playing right now, you can knock out anybody except maybe Tampa.
I
Am I
100%
crazy for that? Okay.
No, I would say no team scares me. Even Tampa last year, what did they do against the Panthers? Nothing. They did
And
absolutely
they
nothing.
do only have 2 more regulation wins than the Bruins do right now. So
Exactly. And it's all about regulation. It's not about OT.
hey, that's
No
what you want to
loser
do,
points.
man. Want to win games in regulation.
Yeah,
That's
which
all.
I am one of those people that do think they should change the point system. 3 for regulation win, 2 for an OT shootout, 1 for OT shootout loss, which would benefit us this year, maybe not in years past, but I do think that could be a big change in the NHL soon. But again, I don't think any team scares me, even Tampa. 7 games though, it's tough. I think you're right, but I feel like we have the lines. I feel like we have the lines like to go 7 games. We have a team that's built to go 7 games.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Like the scoring might not be there, like all the way down. I mean, shit, they're making it work so far. But they can roll out 4 lines, and they're pretty confident rolling out 4 lines for a full 60. Like they will match it up. They'll roll out 4. Even some of the really good Bruins teams of the late teens, early 20s couldn't really do that. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about, Dan.
Yeah, I think. Do you think there's anyone? I know Colorado is obviously the favorite right now. The Panthers are outside looking in right now, but I feel like they're gonna do what the Panthers do and just sneak in and cause a lot of havoc. Do you think there's an outside shot that any other team, wins the Stanley Cup this year? Or you think it's kind of Colorado and which they've been not doing too great recently, but what's your kind of predictions for how the playoffs play out? And is someone other than the Avalanche going to win?
I think Colorado's my 1A. Vegas is my 1B. That team with Marner now, Eichel, they get Anderson, Theodore, like they are just stacked. They're another team that the West.
Cassidy.
Yes, exactly. I mean, they got the guy. Even
Lazon,
Dallas.
yeah.
Lazon made it tough play. I was watching that Toronto game, Marner's return, and I was like, wow, glad he's not on this team.
That is funny. Like that was kind of not a big move for them, but like kind of a needle moving one, in that they weren't tough enough to get through Edmonton last year, who I wouldn't classify really as a tough team. And so they get a guy who's led the league in hits, Jeremy Lauzon. Like that's a big deal. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I think Dallas is another team that can make a run, but Vegas, Dallas, Colorado, the whole West, those 3 teams, I really don't know who wins the West. I mean, Colorado, we've seen them. They might have won that trade where they got rid of Rantanen. Marty Necas is unbelievable. He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
The only team I think that lost that trade is Carolina getting Stankoven. Even Dallas getting Rantanen was a huge upgrade for them. They needed that. But I think either of those teams, Vegas or Dallas, could make a run. But again, the East is so wide open. I really have no clue. I think Tampa is the favorite. I would say Tampa is the team that would do it. They have Vasilevsky, who's just been there before, done it. Kucherov, Getzel's unbelievable. We saw him in the 4 Nations. He knows how to play in the big games. So one of those teams, I think, for sure wins the cup.
Is Barkov confirmed? Did they rule him out yet for the season, or he's still trying to come back?
I think before the season they were ruling him out, and now he's skating with the team I saw. But I think he's out. I would assume he's out for the year. But who knows? If they go on a run,
this is like a Tatum situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're kind of monitoring it. It's obviously a little like the Celtics are doing really well, and they're like, well, I guess Tatum, if your foot's not gonna explode, then maybe. But like Florida's they're gonna need to scratch and claw. Like they're gonna, no pun intended. They're gonna need like every loser point they need to get in the playoffs with this Atlantic Division. So I don't know, man. They're getting him back. I mean, he blew it out in September.
Yeah.
You know, like that's That's crazy. But any looming threat of Alex Barkov coming to play for Florida again just doesn't make me feel great. It's like the Chiefs, bro. You gotta cut the head off the Panthers. You gotta make them miss the playoffs entirely, or else I'm probably gonna put some money down on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you.
I would hate to see them back there.
One
I
thing
do want to. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. I haven't seen anything yet on our Olympic team, US, and a little bit on the Canada team.
Yeah.
What you guys think? Who the biggest snubs were, and who actually deserved to make this team that didn't in the Four Nations?
The biggest snubs were the people we played last week. Robertson went off against us.
We saw it right up against us, dude.
Like if you just had to watch the Bruins last week to see who the snubs were. Those are probably the top two. I feel like the Canadian fans are still, they got Hudson and Caulfield. Like they're kind of pissed off about that. But I would say Robertson would be number one. I think this team needs to score goals to win. And you got guys like, I'm not a JT Miller guy. I don't like his. Yeah, he had that fight against Montreal and did terrible. He was the third one to do it and just kind of ruined the momentum, in my opinion. But he, I don't know. I'm not a big JT Miller guy. Obviously, Trocheck's another one, but I think you could have left either of them off for Robertson. I feel like his scoring could be needed in one of those games. Like in the Four Nations, that was a low-scoring game. They won 3-2 in overtime. Can't rely on Austin Matthews to score goals apparently in big games. So I feel like having Robertson there would be a little bit of helpful. But yeah, I'd say Robertson was the big one for me.
Dude, I'm high key worried about Austin Matthews. High key.
Is he still a captain? Did they change that?
I don't know that they've technically announced it, but
they just give it to Brady Tkachuk.
And I think it should go to Brady Tkachuk as well. And I'd honestly love to see Charlie McAvoy get an A on his jersey. I think he's just like one of those guys. He's just one of those guys.
Yeah. I'd say the Tkachuk Bros and McAvoy would be my three.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I give it to Eichel if you want. Sure. Go ahead, masshole. No, I think, Caulfield and Robertson, like that's as far as you need to go in terms of snubs. Like I don't get the Robertson excuse on the USA's end of like, people point out that he's slow and it's like, all right, you're playing on a smaller ice surface than the NHL. Clearly his speed is enough to score goals in the NHL. He's scored more than any American in the year 2025. And kind of the same thing with Caulfield in terms of like, okay, so he can't check, but like, is that really going to matter in an IIHF tournament in a smaller smaller than Olympic rink size, smaller than NHL rink size? The dude can score from anywhere. He can score from anywhere. He can beat flat-footed defensemen. Like he throws one off guys' ears and in. Like all the dude does is score 30 goals or score goals. He's going to score 30 this year. I think he's at 29 right now. So I just like for Vinny Trocheck, man.
You're not a Vinny Trocheck guy.
I'm not a Vinny Trocheck guy. I'm just not, man.
It's Italian discrimination, man.
That's it. That's really it. It's anti-Italian discrimination. No, I don't get the Vinny Trocheck thing or the JT Miller thing. And you could say it's just because they're Rangers, but Adam Fox was left out for Seth Jones and then left out for Seth Jones's replacement. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think that team can win. I still think that team can win it all.
Oh yeah. I think they got the roster for it. I mean, Canada scares me every time. I honestly think a Sweden could. I mean, I know Sweden's banged up right now. They have guys that are they're just.
Well, that was the problem last year. It's just all their guys were hurt. Like Hampus Lindholm was hurt. Olmark was kind of banged up and wasn't having a great year. Obviously, Pettersson was horrible. Zibanejad had taken a nosedive. Like you just had a bunch of dudes who just wasn't their year. Maybe. I mean, not that Pettersson's much better, but maybe you get some more out of them this year. Elias Lindholm hasn't been very good, like compared to what he was a few years ago.
I just think they could upset US or Canada. I feel like everyone's looking at US, Canada as like, this is going to be the gold medal game. These are the two teams. And I just think one team is going to pull off a crazy upset even if it's like Finland or Czech, somehow, some way. I mean, we saw it in the World Juniors, Czech beating Canada every single year.
Yeah.
They're
Finns beating the U.S. Yeah.
Yes, it just happens, and so I am curious to see. I mean, I think it's fascinating, but I don't know.
Although I'll tell you, the Swedes have. I talk about the banged up dudes. They have got a weapon on the blue line, and Rasmus Dahlin, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, just doing it again, having an awesome season again. It sucks that he's obviously not right now wasting away in Buffalo, but did for so many years, because I I would have taken that dude in a heartbeat, man. That guy, what a player. Sorry, that was a tangent.
No, you're right, and that's part of the reason why Buffalo.
I might be the first one to have that opinion. Rasmus Dahlin, good player. All right, this is gonna shock some people. Rasmus Dahlin, I think, is good. I would take him on my team. Yeah,
he's gonna make it in the league.
I think he's got a name for himself. I think he'll make it. Yeah.
What about Yoki Haru game-winning goal against Canada in the Olympics? How that would feed families in Boston?
He scored in the Four Nations. He had a big goal. He scored against Canada in the Four Nations, I think, or he scored against U.S. The first
he scored
goal,
against the U.S. Yeah, it was a weird goal.
A weird goal, just a weird goal. But who knows? Their Finland defense. I was looking at that and I was like, oh, that's where they just struggle. That's where they lose me. But I don't know.
Wonder if Andrew Pete can find a way onto the team. Just get more Bruins defensemen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing you mentioned, the 3-2-1 system, point system in NHL. I have a list of complaints or recommendations for the NHL, so I could put that on there for you. With the 1-8 playoff format coming back, let's get rid of the offsides rule. The 3-2-1 point system, like I said, but at least they listen with the
White
NHL
at home,
players
white jerseys at home.
Oh
man, just for the Bruins or everyone?
Just for the
and
Bruins.
Everyone, dude. You can do it for everyone. Well, if you only do it for the Bruins, then they're wearing white all the time. So
that's a good point.
You do.
But
I say do it for everyone. But anyway, just adding it to the list, Dan. I just wanted to make sure it was on the list.
There's a list. Scheduling NHL games on opening week on Saturdays. That'd be a good one. Saturday night in hockey, Saturday night in Canada. That'd be smart to do.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited. Coming into this season, we didn't think the Bruins would be doing this good. I thought we'd be either bad or just in the middle of it. But the Olympics was pretty much the only thing I was looking forward to, especially after the Four Nations. But looking back, like, I know you're a little bit younger, but our childhood of 2014, you got TJ Oshie. In 2010, we had that, close game in the gold medal, but Ryan Miller, and that was it, Zach Parise goal with a minute left to tie the game. So growing up, like, we had those Olympic games, and then it was taken away from us for over 10 years. So talking about like growing the game of hockey, it's the best sport in the world, in my opinion. And the success of the Four Nations last year, I was actually fortunate enough. I went to the was it the gold medal or the championship game for that, and it was electric. I was like, I'm in TD Garden rooting for Matt Tkachuk right now. I'm like, what is going on? But just the atmosphere there, it brought a buzz around hockey, and I think this is another great way to grow the game if they have another successful Olympic tournament. Hopefully, USA can pull it off. It's crazy. It hasn't happened since 1980. So how cool would it be if Al Michaels was on the call for one of those games after that 1980 call? Think they could set that up? If the U.S. wins a gold medal game and has Al Michaels call it, that'd be just nostalgic.
Yeah. Why not, dude? Why not?
He would just have to at least make a post or something. Like, even if he's not on it, like, post on Instagram your call of it.
Yeah.
It's like a Logan McKenna reactions video.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. The Al Michaels. Can you guys collab on that?
I think so. I'd have to hit his manager or something. He might be busy.
Yeah, we'll get with your people. Make sure your legal team that you're getting that you're getting enough of the cuts, the profit, and everything. Let's make sure you get your butt covered if you're dealing with Al Michaels. I'm just saying. Yeah. All right, Logan. Before we get you out of here, I do want to ask. We talked about the Bruins, talked about the Olympics, but I don't know if we're going to talk to you in the next 2 weeks. As we record this, it is the day after the conference championship games. Do you have your Super Bowl prediction cooked up yet?
I do. I thought Drake May was due this week for an unbelievable week. The weather cost him. He would have if there wasn't snow. I think he slings it. I think he goes for 320 yards, has an absolute heater of a game, back to what we saw during the regular season. I think it's 27-14 Pats.
Ooh,
I think our defense has been good. I think we hold them to 14.
Yeah.
I still, Sam Darnold played great yesterday. I love the guy, not a huge Sam Darnold believer. I think Drake May's the better quarterback. I think they have an unbelievable defense, but I think Drake May's been playing good defense and he's been winning games. So why can't he win this one?
Hell yeah. I love that.
I think is this the worst defense he's played in the postseason so far, though? I think someone tweeted that this could be, maybe not. I'm not sure number wise. I know Houston and Denver are, I think, 1 and 2, but
I mean, it
he's
could
played good
be
defenses
because they'll all be top 10. Yeah. In fact, maybe all
Yeah.
top 5. The
They'll all
three
be
so
top
far have
5.
been top 5.
Yeah. Just crazy.
I think it's funny for Jet fans. I'm from New York, but I'm an all Boston fan, thank God.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to get into trolling Jet fans, I'd endorse that. They are terrible. And if you want to put out any type of content, I think it's funny how the Super Bowl, either Sam Darnold or Drake May will be a Super Bowl champion. And
Yeah.
I don't know how that sits with Jet fans, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, they get to see Sam Darnold play the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and the Patriots are partially there because a guy they waived in October partially blocked a kick in the AFC Championship. It's just like the Jets thing. It just writes itself, man. It's almost too.
It's
good.
easy content.
It's
easy
so
content.
easy, man.
I saw a video. You worked. You collab with TickPick, right? I think I saw
Yeah,
a
I
video
did.
of you asking questions outside
Yep.
TD Garden. Now we did a little segment like that earlier in the year, and the content you get, it's like it writes itself. Like if you just go outside with a mic outside a stadium, if you do that for an hour, you will get great content from that.
Boston's the perfect place for that. The perfect spot.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to run into. You really don't.
You might
never know.
You might even run into Logan McKenna here, or
You might.
Zdeno Chara.
Or Stuart Chart. He was there. He was there.
It could happen. It could happen. Logan, man, we really appreciate you taking the time today. Definitely before we get you out of here, though, plug it away. Where are people finding these great reaction videos, the man on the street stuff? Where can people find it?
Yeah, Logan McKenna on all platforms. Posting everything on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So go follow me on any of those 3. But I appreciate you, Cam and Dan, for having me on. I mean, this was great. Go Bruins, and need the Pats to get it done. We need a parade here for the first time in what, 2 years? So
it's been a long time.
Are you gonna be here for the parade if they do it?
I don't think so. I'm gonna go back to California next week before the Super Bowl, and I was thinking about buying a ticket. Saw $5,000 and said, "Yeah, I'm okay on that."
Are you Southern California or are you up by the Bay Area?
I'm in Los Angeles. I am Southern. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be a drive.
It
right?
would. Yeah. Quick
Bit of a
4
drive.
hour. Yeah.
I mean, shoot though, might not even have to do a hotel. Just think about it. Keep an eye on it, Logan.
If those go down to $20, then yeah, they'll see me there for sure.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah.
That could happen.
Really
Sam Darnold effect, maybe that happens. Maybe that happens.
Exactly.
Wait till
Logan,
kickoff.
Yeah. Drive up there, find a parking lot, and just wait. San Francisco, just sit out there. It's Santa Clara, actually, it's like an hour away. And just sit out there and just wait to see what you get. TickPick should cover you up there. But Logan, man, we really appreciate the time and appreciate you coming on the show. We look forward to seeing some more of these reaction videos, maybe some Pats ones too, and we'll have you on the show again sometime soon.
Have to do it again, boys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Peace.
There you go. There he goes, Logan McKenna. I think I might have accidentally just full on kicked him out there. Sorry, Logan. I didn't mean to do that. I just meant to take him off the screen. Man, that was good stuff, Dan. That was good stuff. And we are kind of up against it on time. I do want to get one great stat out there before we go. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the stat of the week here on the only Rogue Media Network podcast exclusively about the Boston Bruins? We talked about Fraser Minten, man. And he's on pace to get the 20-plus goals, which I think we all would have taken at the beginning of the year. But if you're keeping score of who has, like, where the goals are at right now, how about this, Dan? You ready for this?
Hit me.
NHL goals this season: Fraser Minten 13, Matthew Nyes 12. This dude, and look, I like Matthew Nyes. Like, I saw the deal and I was like, okay, that's a good deal for Toronto. I think that's good for them. He plays on a line with Austin Matthews. Okay, Matthew Nyes has less goals this season than Fraser Minten.
Maple Leafs fans are down bad. And like Logan said, they're the easiest to troll, so I don't mind bringing this up.
Down horrendous right now. Down horrendous. Nyes does lead in the points, but that is wild, man. Like, it shouldn't be almost February, and in Leafs fans' minds, like, it shouldn't be Matthew Nyes trailing Fraser Minten, man. That is gonna we're kind of taking a victory lap now, but I'm telling you, man, the next like 5 years, it's almost not even, it's gonna be like the Tuca thing, where it is funny, but it's almost not, because it's just like, yeah, we fleece them to the max on that. Like, I think that's what we're gonna be saying about this Fraser Minten deal.
We said earlier, after what's been going on with Boston and Toronto trades, that any 617 numbers should be blocked from their phone.
Don't do it, man.
If it pops up, just decline it. But it's tough for Leafs fans because their only argument, they knew he was good defensively, but their only argument earlier in the year was, oh, he's not producing offensively. Oh, he's on pace for 25 points this year. Now he's producing offensively and he's scoring more goals than now. And you kind of you don't want to hate them when they're down, but you kind of do. They are the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You kind of do. You kind of do. That's for sure. And I think it's going to be funny when Don Sweeney is calling their offices around the trade deadline, and the Bruins are like, 6 or 8 points ahead of them. They're in a playoff spot. Toronto's not. And they're still just calling up Toronto and be like, who do you want? Who do you want? You see anybody you like? How about this Yoki Harju guy?
Arvidsson?
He just scored for Finland, Arvidsson, yeah. Like, they could, and this is kind of a joke, but like, they could pull something like that. Like, they could, you know what I mean? They could do something where they're, moving Arvidsson, getting a good pick for it, and then just making another deal on the side to replace Arvidsson's production. Really good organizations do that. As much as Don Sweeney's having a good year, I don't quite know if he can pull that off, but that would be hilarious. That would.
Hey, he got a 4th for a VL. I'm trusting his trade deadline
That's
again.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point.
I'm gonna trust it. I know we talked about it earlier in the episode, but if he could sell off maybe a few people, like if you trade Peak and Arvidsson for, maybe you get a mid-round pick for Peak, like a 3rd, and if you get a 2nd for Arvidsson, and then maybe you call up Hagens at the end of the year to fill that void. It's one thing to lose in the first round of the playoffs and buy. Like, if you traded for Anderson and then you lost in the first round, I would be pissed. But like, if you trade Arvidsson and Peak, you get some picks, and then you still make the playoffs and lose in the first round. Like, at least you were productive in it, and you kind of sold and you built for the future, but at the same time you still competed. So I wouldn't mind if they sold a little bit and still made the playoffs. It's looking like they're gonna get like 2 picks in the teens right now. I might return my Gavin McKenna jersey. So not Logan, Gavin.
Maybe you just make it a Logan one. Put a little L. McKenna. People will know. People outside the Garden will get it. There's 34,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah,
we're gonna get
it. Yep.
Anyway, the next time we talk to you, we will put out our Super Bowl predictions, because we'll have that extra week here. But I guess we'll talk about the Bruins as well. Man, this is fun. And I swear this is real. Like, if the Patriots do win the bowl, like, that momentum is going to carry over into the Bruins. Like, it's just gonna happen. And then we'll look up in April and be like, oh yeah, shit, the Celtics are still the number 2 seed, and they don't even have Tatum's
back.
Yeah. Like, that's, although some people are saying he could come back like Super Bowl Sunday. And I'm like, that would be. Think about, you think we, the collective we, are insufferable right now? Holy fuck. If that happened the same day, my Lord. All right, Dan, you have any parting thoughts?
Go Pats. We're back.
Yep.
Go Bruins, and Toronto sucks.
And I'm glad Buffalo's finally got a good team in something. I'm glad that Buffalo
that was
finally has
number
a
5.
championship contending team. It's good for them. It's good for them. And anyway, yeah, thank you guys. Like, subscribe. That helps us out a ton. We come in here every week on YouTube. You can see the segments going out through the week, but also TikTok is always popping. Dan does a great job with that. Peeling back the curtain. You could also find us on Twitter as well, talking some shit, Garden Level Pod. So check us out there and check us out here next week on a little ditty that we like to call the Garden Level Pod.